Hey guys, welcome back. As you can see, I've got a couple pine trees here today that I'm going to try to plant in the ground. Me and Rebecca, we ended up running into this landscaping place the other day and we stopped and ended up asking if they had any pine trees, and they did, and they're pretty good size. These are every bit of 8 feet tall, and we ended up buying 2 of them, one for each side of the house. And Rebecca thinks, you know, if you got a log home, you have to have pine trees next to it. I mean, they just kind of go together. And I think she's right. I think this will look good when these get nice and big. But so we picked those up yesterday, and the problem was I knew the ground was so dry. There's no way I was going to be able to get those in the ground. I'm trying to dig this by hand, it would take me all day to dig a hole that size probably. So I texted my dad. I asked him if I could borrow his John Deere tractor and the backhoe, and we picked that up last night. So we're going to keep that here for a few days. I've got a few projects to try to use it on. But today, starting off, first thing we're going to do is we're going to try to get these 2 pine trees in the ground, get them all planted and watered in, maybe a little bit of fertilizer, and hopefully, you know, in a couple years we'll have some really nice pine trees. But let's go ahead and get started. So me and Rebecca got the 2 pine trees all planted. They're watered in, we've got them fertilized and mulched, and they look like they're pretty healthy trees. I don't think we'll have any trouble keeping them alive. We will probably have to keep watering in these trees for a while until we finally get some rain. But we've had pretty good luck with white pine trees in this clay soil. For some reason, you know, they seem to do pretty good. But so we just got done planting 2 trees. So next thing I want to do is I kind of want to rip a couple trees out of the ground. We had, or at least their roots. We had 2 apple trees die this year in the orchard, and we had to cut them down. So the root balls of those apple trees are still in the ground. I want to get those pulled out. That way we're ready to plant new apple trees next year. So those apple trees were original to the little orchard that we planted out here. So they've been out there for at least, 4 4 years. So not sure how tough these little root balls will be. The soil should be looser over there because we actually used different soil and mounded it up where we put our fruit trees instead of planting them in the clay soil. So these root balls actually may pull out pretty easy, but we'll go ahead and take the backhoe over there and see about getting those out of the ground. Well, that pulled out fairly easy. Well, today is a really windy day. We decided to sit here on the porch out of the wind for a little bit. So, what do you think of the pine trees?
I love them. I'm so happy. It makes the log cabin look really cute.
Yeah, I'm really happy that we got pine trees that big. I think it's really hard to find decent sized pine trees. It seems like a lot of times you end up finding like, I don't know, what, 2, 3, 4 foot pine trees, and these are pretty good size.
Yeah, we had some little pine trees that were planted out there before, but I ran them over with the mower, so these will be easier to see.
Yeah, we bought like, what did we buy? It was like...
They were like little sticks.
Yeah, I mean, but at that time it was like close to 80 trees or something we bought, and they were all like 2-foot trees. And there's a couple pine trees that are still alive in the front, but most of the trees that lived are the ones we planted around the pond. We planted the cypress trees and sycamore trees and river birch trees. So we planted like 80 trees, I think, out of that whole batch. You know, you can't have my gloves. She likes to chew gloves. You gotta keep away from them. And I think we ended up with like maybe 10 trees that survived out of that whole batch of trees. So if you plant those little bitty ones, man, you don't have very good luck. Doesn't seem like.
Yeah, I'll be able to decorate them for Christmas.
Oh, you mean I'll be able to decorate them for Christmas? That's what you're meaning. You're saying I'm going to put Christmas lights on these things now. Yeah. Yeah, just wait and see. Wait at Christmas. I'll finally have to put up Christmas lights this year. I've got out of it every year so far. This year she'll make me put them up. But yeah, it is definitely looking like fall out here. I mean, most of the leaves actually have knocked off several of the trees, but with the wind blowing, all the leaves are blowing around the porch and just blowing around everywhere. But it's actually a fairly warm day today. It's like supposed to be a high of 80.
Yeah.
So she was saying at least the wind made it feel better outside. But at least we still got the cool mornings. It's like, what, 50 degrees in the morning or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to cool down starting tomorrow, high in the 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I think that's it for today's video. Just planting some trees today, and there's no way I could have done it without that backhoe. Man, the ground is so hard.
Yeah, it made it so much easier.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to get a bigger shovel, right? Yeah, that made the job a lot easier.
Yeah.
So, we got a couple other jobs for the tractor, and we'll do something with it here in the next couple of videos before I take it back. But I think think that's it for this video, guys. So thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Scout's jealous. He don't have no place to sit. She's gonna clean his ears. She cleans everybody's ears.
Well, the Scout that was licking the pig's ears the other night.
Yeah. Well, they probably taste good.
Like bacon.
Yeah, it's like bacon.
Well, they do, like, you feed dogs pig ears.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Probably didn't try to eat them.
Those pigs might bite back.